Virginia Governor Bob McDonnell joins me now he's in Scottsdale, Arizona at the RGA conference, his last one as governor of Virginia. Governor, good morning, sir.
Hey, Chuck. Nice to be with you. Thanks.
I want to start with the statewide review that you've already put in motion having to do with the events that has led to Creed Deeds' what happened to Creed Deeds and the day before, apparently, that this incident took place where Creed Deeds' son attacked him and then took his own life. He was going to be he was found to be mentally unstable and it needed to be hospitalized, but supposedly a bed couldn't be found. What more do you know, and what do you hope to find out with this review?
Well, Chuck, it's just a heartbreaking story. You know, I ran against Creed twice. He's a good, decent, honorable man. He's been a great public servant, a family man, and to have this tragedy in our close-knit legislative government family here in Virginia has just been heartbreaking. And Creed's a great dad. He obviously tried to do something for his son on Monday, and the system didn't do the things to support him that we'd like to see. So it's too early to rush to judgment, Chuck, on this. What I've done is order our Secretary of Health and Human Resources to do a comprehensive review and then to make recommendations. I've got the budget that I've got to put together here in the last 3 weeks. And if there's new resources needed, we'll look at it. There's more coordination, communication between state and local agencies. We'll do that. Our Inspector General is also doing a review. So we'll get to the bottom of what could have gone better. But it's too early. The facts are still being gathered at this point. Right now, everybody's just praying for Creed to make a full recovery.
All right, I want to talk a little bit about Virginia politics. In his first interview after losing the governor's race, Ken Cuccinelli attributed his loss partly to you this week. He said the following. He said, basically, if it wasn't for the ethics scandal that dogged you in the administration, he could have made better arguments against Terry McAuliffe. He campaigned with you. Obviously, your policies have seen good job ratings with the Virginia public. It's the ethics issues that seem to have caused some problems. Do you agree with Ken Cuccinelli's assessment that this ethics scandal that dogged you was partially to blame?
Well, listen, every candidate's got to make a decision how they want to run their campaign and what kind of image they want to project to the public. And Ken ran a spirited race. He fell short by just a couple of points. I think that what we saw was that the government shutdown, which I strongly opposed about 5 weeks out, caused a really significant shift in Northern Virginia and Hampton Roads, where we've got a lot of federal workers. I think that was probably the biggest factor, along with a great money deficit as well. So, Chuck, I would say that was the reason. I think you look at the House of Delegates, we maintained 67 votes.
You don't take any responsibility?
Well, I'm going to let you know, listen, I've taken responsibility for things that I would have done differently. You know, I've repaid loans. I've given back gifts. Everything I think we did was compliant with the law, Chuck. But I'm a governor. I don't want to play pundit about what happened. There are a lot of things when you lose you can look to say that should have been done differently. But to the degree that I undermine trust in people, I have apologized. I think I certainly would do some things differently, and I think we need to change some of the ethics rules in Virginia to provide more clarity and certainty for both donors and office holders alike. I think that reform is necessary.
I got to ask you, though, what did you think Johnny Williams, why did you think he was giving you all these gifts and giving your wife all these gifts?
Well, Chuck, I don't think it's necessary at this point to get into the facts. It's been largely outlined, although much of the reporting has not been accurate. Virginia...
Well, we have some time to correct it. I mean, it's not been accurate.
There have been multiple things, Chuck, that have not been accurate, but as long as there's other reviews going on, I don't think it'd be appropriate to talk about it. What I have said is that a couple things. One, I have never done anything in my 22 years in office to abuse my office. I've made the right decisions for people, whether they've been donors or not donors, and there's been nothing incorrect that we've done for Mr. Williams or anyone else. But secondly, Chuck, look, I'm not focusing on this. I know people like to talk about these things. But I'm focusing every day on being a good governor for Virginia. We've had major progress in Virginia on a lot of important things, from transportation to pension reform to higher ed reform, and I'm not going to let that dissuade me these last 55 days in office. I've got a transition to get done with Mr. McAuliffe. I've got a budget to put together. I've got major reforms to finish, and that's what I'm doing. And these other things, other people will make those decisions.
Well, you've talked about that Virginia, you've acknowledged that it has some of the most lax ethics laws in the country when you compare it to other 50 states. These last 55 days, considering how it hurts your ability to govern this last year, this ethics issue, this ethics scandal, why not make your last 55 days all about getting real ethics reform passed in the Virginia Assembly and then sign it into law?
Well, Chuck, I disagree with you. It hadn't hurt my ability to govern. You know, many people might want to talk about it. I'm talking about governing. Same thing I've done for 4 years is problem solving, turning down the rhetoric, getting people to work together in a bipartisan way, and solving problems. We've gotten major reforms accomplished this year. Virginia's got the record surpluses, the lowest unemployment rate in the Southeast, and we're still getting big things done with Democrats and Republicans working together. So I would disagree with the contention in your question. But I've already said we're going to have proposals in ethics reform that I think will be helpful for Virginia, for the benefit of office holders, for the people, and for the lobbyists. I mean, there's some things that need to be done, and I've got some ideas that I'll advance soon.
Well, let me ask you about one of them. What's one big change you think is necessary so that
I think we can put some limits. I think we can put.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I think we put some limits on the dollar value of gifts. I think there's got to be a coordination of the reporting times between lobbyists and office holders. The forms are very unclear. The definitions of everything from what is a personal friend to what is a corporate loan versus a private loan. There are many things that I think could be outlined, and we'll have some specific proposals here soon. But look, I'm getting up every day and worrying about how I can make Virginia better. That's my plan for the last 55 days. And we're going to have a smooth and good transition with Terry McAuliffe and get him off to a good start.
Virginia Governor Bob McDonnell, thanks for coming on this morning from Arizona.